sit down. Shut up and sit down.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Build, Paint, Play. I'm Dave.
I'm Jake.
And of course, immediately once we start, something happens with the sound. No! Scott's here. Hey, Scott. Can you hear Jake at all? No, well, he's not talking.
Hopefully, yes.
Hopefully, yes. Let's see. I don't know. I think maybe you might need to turn up your mic just a little bit.
Really? Okay. That's definitely louder than it was a week ago.
Yeah? Okay.
Because I've left it. I usually don't touch any of the settings.
Yeah, I don't touch any of the settings either, but of course we know that things don't always stay the same.
Is that better now, Scott, Chris? Still too quiet?
Jeff can hear you.
I will turn it up a little bit.
Chris can hear him fine.
Okay. All right.
All good.
I will leave it alone.
Huzzah! I always get a little bit worried that occasionally something is going to go wrong. But looks like we're all good.
We're doing it live.
Awesome. Well, happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
There we go. Yay! That's the most ridiculous thing.
Pretty good.
Yep, not bad at all. What'd you get for Valentine's Day?
I worked.
I got to sleep in.
I ordered myself a calzone.
Nice. Fantastic. My daughter got me some chocolate as well, so that's pretty good.
Nice. We have kids. Like my wife and I, we usually do stuff like to hang out.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it's Valentine's Day. Like we've been married and we've been together for so long that we're both like Valentine's Day is bullshit. It is a Hallmark holiday designed to sell cards.
Totally. And chocolate.
Yeah.
And reservations at restaurants. Yeah.
Yeah. Like we'll probably go out like this weekend and like just have dinner, but we would have done that anyways. So
sure. Definitely. Scott says, sounds good now. Clear, loud, intelligent, like a member of the ruling class. Well done, Jake.
Nice.
He says, I want a calzone. These my burger and
good.
fries.
It was solid. I'll never say no to a burger and fries. So.
Yeah. The burger, like a burger is actually my go-to meal, like pretty much anywhere. If there's if there's a burger on the menu, I will have the burger.
Okay.
Particularly like in places where I've never been before, because you got to try really hard to screw up a burger.
Okay.
You can do a pretty decent burger pretty easily, right? It doesn't take a lot.
I mean, theoretically, yeah.
For when you're at a restaurant, right, where the people who are cooking have cooked before.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have a go-to. I think my go-to, if I go out somewhere, if they have chicken parm, I will get chicken parm.
Okay.
Chicken parmesan is like my favorite Italian dish.
Yeah.
And I always I have a couple places that I really like. I think their chicken parm is the best.
Okay.
So I always get it to see how it stacks up.
Right.
And then if I can't do that, New York strip is kind of like my go-to if I go out to any place that does that kind of protein, if they do steaks and stuff. I don't know. I couldn't tell you the last time I got a burger at a restaurant.
Yeah.
I mean, well, that's not true. I went to there's this place down literally down the street from my wife and I in Holbrook that we just kind of tried out, and I got their patty melt, which is essentially a burger on a sandwich instead of on a bun.
Yep.
And it was good. It was actually done really well.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know if I have like a go-to.
Yep.
I don't know.
I just don't like to think. That's it. I don't like to have to make decisions. So it's just like, oh look, burger.
Okay.
Oh, the burger. How do you want that? Medium. Fries,
Okay.
of course.
Joy.
So, all good. But oh, there you go. Calzone beats McDonald's. Okay, yeah, beats a McDonald's
True.
burger. There we
It's
go.
true.
That's fair. Nice.
All right.
So, what have you been able to get up to hobby wise?
Uh, Not a whole lot. I have another Predator almost built. I spent a little bit of time designing foam trays
Right.
to take this whole army out to Adepticon, and I got my 3-step priming done on Friday because it was beautiful up here.
Okay.
It was like 50 something in the middle of February, which is insane for New England. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm priming today. So I basically flipped all my tanks over, primed them all black from the bottom, flipped them right side up, and I had the turrets off, and I did them lead belcher spray,
Yep.
and then I basically kind of hit them at like 1 o'clock instead of high noon,
Yep.
like from the front for the dreadnoughts and the vehicles. I hit them kind of because instead of having an infantry character that's usually pretty up and down,
Yep.
because I have most of them leaning forward or the tanks are more horizontal, I primed them so you get a little more from the front.
Okay.
And it looks pretty cool. I picked them up and kind of turned them around, and they get darker as it goes down, which means it'll help with my weathering because I want them to look kind of dingy down the bottom.
Yep.
I still got to send you that link for that Iron Warrior that's on the GW site because I love the way that they did his colors.
Okay.
I have no idea what they washed him with. It looks like it could be. Maybe it's Reichland Flesh Shade, but it does. I don't think it is. It could be one of the new ones, but
Right.
I'll see if I can
It
find
might be. Yeah.
But so the foam. I was going to tell you about the foam. So I reached out to the guys at Battle Foam because we carry Battle Foam at the store.
Right.
And whenever I order stuff, because it's a retail order, it always takes like weeks and weeks for us to get it.
Yep.
So I was like, well, if I'm taking this army with me out to Adepticon, I got to have a way to transport it. But if I can't get the foam, like, what am I going to do? So I emailed our rep and was like, hey, if I put in an order, like, I need 3 custom trays to take to Adepticon, will I get them? And he was really nice. He was like, yeah, he's like, once you have them, download them off the website, download the images, and then send them to me, and I'll make sure that I get them out to you. And I was like, awesome. So
Cool.
fingers crossed. It looks like I will get the foam trays and be able to get my army out there.
Nice. Nice.
I'm a little leery about taking it out there. I've never taken an army on the flight. I mean, nothing big. I've done like, a kill team or, 1,000 points of infantry or something, but I've never tried to transport like a 2,500 point list.
Are you going to check the bag? Or are you
I
going to carry it on?
don't want to. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I usually bring my backpack, a suitcase. I usually bring my backpack and a suitcase.
Right.
So, like, I have my personal item and my carry-on. But if I'm bringing the army,
Yep. The army
I don't
becomes
know how I'm
carry-on.
going to do it. Yeah, so because like, I can't bring the army and the suitcase on the plane because they're both too big. One can't be the carry-on because it would have to fit under your seat.
Right. Yep.
So, I'm hoping that somebody local is driving out to Adepticon.
Okay. Right.
And if they are, I'm just going to be like, please take my army.
Can you take this army with you?
Yeah, like, and I'll just bring my suitcase. If not, what I will probably do if I have to is I'll take my army on the plane because somebody said a 720 will fit in the overhead.
Okay, radio.
Which seems insane to me. It seems like it's way too big for that.
It does seem too big, yeah.
But a buddy of mine said he just did it, and I was like, okay, so I'm going to take the 720 as my carry-on, and I'll check my bag.
Yep. Cool.
But we'll see.
Yeah. Yep. I think you might need to do it that way. But
what are you working on?
I think I mentioned last week that I had all of the all that stuff coming in, the order from Forge World and the order from Pop Goes the Monkey. They both arrived, so I put together the squad of More Dathan, which are
okay,
all up there. So these cool dudes.
They are pretty rad.
Yeah.
I feel like I would just kit bash scouts and Mark 6 Marines.
Well, I don't have any scouts, and I didn't have any Mark 6 Marines at the time, and I didn't feel like doing cloaks.
Or you just do eliminators, do head swaps.
Cloaks. Huh? Eliminators with head swaps?
Yeah, just do Primaris eliminators with Mark 6 helmets.
Yeah. You can probably get away with that, but at the same time, I also wanted to treat myself. Do a little bit of fancy Forge World resin.
Nice.
There's the Pop Goes the Monkey shields.
Are there symbols on them?
Yeah. It's got a
I can't see the symbol.
No, it's tough to see on the clear plastic there, but it's a hand, like it's the iron hand with the cog behind it.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, once that's primed up and picked out, it'll be fine.
Yeah, breachers are nasty.
I gave the first 10 Volkite charges using the plastic charges from the Special Weapons squad, Special Weapons box. And, of course, the fun part there is that they're all made for the Mark 6 Marines, so they have both hands attached.
Right.
So to slice off the left hands.
That's not that bad, though. That's not that bad.
No, it wasn't too bad. But the tough part is that then those hands are over like a textured grip.
Oh, yeah.
And so some of the texture it ends up showing. So I just ended up loading it up with the Revell Contactor Professional plastic glue to kind of melt it and flatten it, and then I've come back and shaved them up so that it's flat, essentially.
Right on.
So there's a bit of work to do there. And because the shields come with a, you probably can't see it in there, but there's like a hand through a grip.
Oh, yeah. Chris just posted and asked, how did the shields come out for you? The last set of shields I got, the interior arms were really rough.
Okay, yeah, the shields, the arms look fine. I mean, it's a hand gripping gripping a handle and then like a sleeve over that. And so what I had to do was go through and cut the Mark III arms at an angle, and then shave them down a bit on the back, and then it slotted in just fine. So I just had to find the right angle and then just production line it. So, and then the fun part was that all of the way that the arms themselves were angled, the Mark III arms, would have had the shield sort of facing out like that, rather than...
Oh, right.
So I just had to slice them all there, glue on the first bit, and then glue the second bit on, so they're pulled back a little bit. There was a lot of finagling, but I think it's fun having models that are made up of like 3 or 4 different materials.
You think that's fun? Okay, cool. we'll call it that.
Sure. This is that's the sergeant there with his thunder hammer.
Nice.
But of course, that thunder hammer is usually a left-handed thunder hammer, so I had to switch that around as well. Actually, you can see that green sort of smear through there.
Yeah.
That's some green stuff on the back when I clipped away the hand, because I wanted to have him holding it like that.
Oh, right.
When I clipped away the hand and the handles and all that sort of thing, it sort of pops through. So there's a little bit of finagling there. That's good. So I did all those guys. I did the... Oh, where is he? So at 10 with charges and 10 with bolters. Well, 8 with bolters and 2 with melter guns. So I've got a 20.
I'm still not sold on Volkites.
And
nice.
That is one of my Recon Marines.
Nice.
So
I like the
Pop Goes the Monkey
pressed bolter.
Nemesis bolter, yeah. So this is a pressed bolter. It's going to be interesting. It'll be interesting once I get them painted up and so they look like. I think I'm going to go with because these are going to be Raven Guard.
Yep.
Recon Marines. I think I'm going to go with black, but then sort of fairly thick gray tiger stripes across them.
Okay, I like that.
Just as something a little bit different. And I think on the Mordathan, I'll probably do that scheme on their cloaks. So, yeah, so I assembled 30 some odd minis, including the Vigilator, which is cool. Yay!
Nice.
And yeah, I just had a great time going through and doing that. Worked on this guy.
Very Son of Nocturne.
Yep. So this is going to be the my HQ choice for my what do you call it?
Your Shattered Legion dudes.
Yeah, my Salamanders detachment.
Well, is it? Oh, right, because the Salamanders are actually Salamanders.
Yeah, they're gonna be actual Salamanders. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
in this one, so he's gonna be a chaplain with his mastercrafted Thunderhammer.
Right on. Yeah, it's a cool model.
Yeah. It was neat. So I've got that. Yeah, all sorts of fun. I found an old bag of where are they? The Ferox Umbra bolters. So I think I've got 10 of those there.
They just have the drum mag.
Yeah, the like the box mag, which is pretty cool. So I can use those for my Iron Hands tactical guys. So yeah, lots of fun getting my Horus Heresy stuff done.
Nice, man.
I was a little bit worried that I wouldn't get my Votan bikes painted, but I'll talk about those later in the show.
Scott says he got an email that his stuff from Ironheart Artisans is volume 4 through 6 shipping. He's hoping.
Yep, it is. Absolutely. So yeah, they're over there, just out of reach. Curses! I should have moved them closer. Yeah, Alex and his wife packed them all up over the weekend. All the U.S. and Canadian orders. We are shipping U.S. and Canadian from Tennessee. So I think all of the U.S. orders went to the post office yesterday, and the Canadian orders went to UPS and USPS today, depending on where the places were located. So, yep. So they went out today, which means hopefully in about a week, sometime in the next week, everybody in the US should have theirs. UK, Europe, rest of the world, I'm not 100% sure when they're going to go out. I've been waiting to hear back from ShipQuest. They've got everything. They've packed a sample packing. They know what to do. But I think that they need to now go, here's how much it's going to cost. Please send us the money first. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I might have to do that. And so I'm just keep an eye out for that email, and as soon as that comes through, it's like, okay, transfer the money. But
I'll have to go back and double check my email, make sure I didn't miss any updates. David's saying he got a direct message from you last week to update his address.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, it should be all good though, Dave. So it's always fun the last minute scramble to make sure we've got everything done, everything going in the right place. But it should be good. I think this time we've got something around the 950 packages going around the world to about 40 some different countries.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yep. Definitely exciting. We like it. But yes.
We're going to talk about stuff that we watch or listen to while painting.
Yeah, we can jump into that. Let's do that. Should we talk about what you and I do to start with?
Yeah, sure. You go first.
Well, of course, because you haven't been doing much hobbying.
No, I mean, but I have like a go-to that I use.
Yeah.
But yeah, you go first. What have you been using?
Well, my go-to, because I do it all from here. My computer's here. Big screen is here. To be honest, almost everything I've been doing for the last 3 years, in particular, has been YouTube. So I watch a lot of. I learn best orally. So listening to whatever's being taught or whatever's happening, picking up on words used, patterns, all sorts of things. So having battle reports on helps me learn a game. So if I want to learn a particular game, I can go and watch a Let's Play, or I can watch it, put on a game that's being played and just listen to the rhythm of the game. What happens, what changes, when things work. So I've never read the Armor of Contempt rule, which I don't think exists. I'm not sure if it exists anymore.
No, it technically doesn't. There's a couple of weird exceptions, like the Votan still have their like weird version of it. And the Armored Sentinel has like a weird version of it, but that's basically it. They essentially got rid of the new Armored Contempt that's been around for like 4 months.
Yeah. But I could have told you how that worked. So, but without ever having read anything about it. So, that's what I do. I watch a lot of battle reports. I check out, I find entertaining content creators who are doing, painting stuff and terrain building stuff. People are throwing around cool ideas, doing some fun different bits and pieces, but it's almost always YouTube. And I've got I think I've got 100 channels on my that I've subscribed to. So I will just go click on the list and scroll through until I find a channel that has new content and go and check out what the new content is. That's really what I do.
Okay. And then I know you said when you were away at the spray party, you guys were watching or had movies on in the background, kind of thing.
Yeah. It's Spray Team. Spray Team's a different sort of thing, which is one of the reasons I wanted to talk about a little bit tonight. But the difference being like at Spray Team, when there's like 12 or 14 of us sitting around the table all working on different terrain projects, the way that Hank has it set up is at each side of the room there's a big screen TV that they're linked. So basically whatever's on is on both screens. And we watch bad 80s films. Well, good, bad 80s films that are so bad that they're good.
Or 80s movies that are so good that they're bad.
I'm not sure how that happens.
There's a bunch.
Yeah, but we watch all sorts of crap. So a particular favorite is Megaforce, which is why that appeared. Okay. That GIF appeared in the Facebook post the other day. But
when he's like,
"Oh yeah, what?"
that movie's amazing. It is so ridiculous. I'm convinced that movie is why they made the Mask toys.
Okay.
Like, because there's so much, like the flying dirt bike. There's so much crap in that movie. You're like, wait, what? Like,
well, I looked it up while we were watching it last time, and it because we were trying to guess what the budget was.
$600.
Was it $500,000? Was it less? Was it more?
It was less.
No, it turned out it was like $16 million.
What?
Yeah, I'm sure like $5 million of that was on the in the C-130s. But yeah, I'm not really sure where the rest of the money went. But it's just such an incredible movie, and always, like, because we have new people coming to Spray Team each year, there's always somebody who's never seen it.
Oh my god, it is such a okay. For those of you who are watching Dave and I right now and have no idea what we're talking about, Megaforce is this. Again, to Dave's point, if it had a budget of 16 million, pretend that that's not real. It looks like it has no budget. It is a super low budget. It's the equivalent of like a sci-fi original TV show from like 15 years ago when they were just starting to get big and they were included with free cable. Everything looked super grainy and low budget, and they'd spend a handful of their money on like, oh no, it's the dragon, and there's a quick jump cut to a CGI dragon, and then immediately, like for like 2 seconds, and then immediately back to the party, and you're like, that 2 second CGI dragon cost us $450,000, and you're like, okay, and then they'll reverse it and show the same scene backwards, like as the dragon moves, like, oh, there he is again, and then they show the exact same thing, so that they don't have to spend the budget again. Megaforce uses the same thing. It looks like it's the same quality as like an episode of Airwolf or Knight Rider.
Yep.
Only on the big screen. It's that level of sophistication.
Yeah.
It is amazing. I don't even know how to describe it. Aren't they supposed to be like a secret? They're like G.I. Joe. It's like a secret force of like renegade heroes who get given the most insane like missions to go on.
Here's the oh yeah, I'll come back to another part of it. But here's the first. I'm going to read the first paragraph from the Wikipedia entry on Megaforce.
Okay.
The story involves two fictional countries, the peaceful Republic of Sardun and their aggressive neighbor, Gamibia. Unable to defend themselves from a Gamibian incursion, Sardun sends Major Zara and General Byrne White to ask the help of Megaforce, a secret army composed of international soldiers from throughout the Western world, equipped with advanced weapons and vehicles. The Megaforce leader, Commander Ace Hunter, will lead a mission to destroy the Gamibian forces, which are led by his rival and former military academy friend, Duke Guerrera.
It wants to be G.I. Joe without being G.I. Joe.
Well, the great thing is that it was made... who was the studio? So it's 20th Century Fox, but it was made to create a line of toys. It was made to sell a line of toys, basically. Yep. So it was 16, 20... although this is suggesting maybe the budget was 20 million. Box office. In the box office, it took 5.7. And I'm guessing the toy line didn't do particularly well either.
I don't even remember there being a toy line.
Yeah.
What year is it? 82?
Yeah, 82. June 25th, 1982.
It would have been 7.
Yeah. And one of the amazing parts was, so it talks about being an international force of sort of highly skilled elite mercenaries. So each of them has their country flag on their shoulder.
Yep.
Of their skin-tight spandex suits. And so there's like an American flag and there's a bunch of other flags. One guy has a Confederate flag on there. And it's just like, You're
like, that's not a country, dumbass.
Didn't we stop that being a country like 130 years earlier?
So weird.
Crazy stuff. But the as I was telling you earlier, Ace Hunter, the guy who plays Ace Hunter, is Barry Bostwick, who goes on to be the mayor of Spin City.
Barry Bostwick is in tons of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But most of his career is kind of like once he's a little bit older.
Yep.
Like that's when his career like really takes off, and then he's in everything.
Yeah.
But
yep.
Oh my,
exactly.
was this his first movie?
No, I don't believe so.
He's pretty young in it.
Oh, let me find out. Now I'm going to IMDb because that's the place you need to go for everything. Let's see. Barry Bostwick.
Scott says it's Barry Bostwick's second best lead role in an action movie. He was better in FDR American Badass.
Well, Barry Bostwick at the time was 37 when it was released.
What else he was in though?
What's that?
I don't know what else he was in though.
Oh, acting credits. He's got 188 acting credits.
Right. Let's see.
But
oh yeah, he was in. Okay, so he was in a lot of stuff, but a lot of it was pretty small. Like he's in.
Yeah.
So it's his second big movie. He was in a bunch of little movies, and then he was in Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Right.
In 75, and then he's in a movie called Movie, which I don't even remember, and then he's in Megaforce in 82.
Yep.
And he was on a bunch of like TV shows.
Yeah, he would have been like one episode here, one episode there.
Yeah, he was in like an episode of like Hawaii Five-0. He was in an episode of Charlie's Angels.
Yep.
But yeah, like his career doesn't really take off until after like 1982, and then he's in like tons of stuff.
Yeah.
Man, that movie is not good.
It is so bad. It is great.
Yeah, it like comes back around somehow.
It does. It's amazing. Jeff Hall's in, and he said, I just looked up the toy line. It's all like epic scale.
Oh man, I remember that.
Yeah, Jeff Smith says Rocky Horror. Yeah, he played Brad.
Yeah,
of Brad and Janet. So
yeah,
think back to that.
Yeah, Brad and Janet are the two normals that kind of like are like, whoa, how did we get here? And they're like, they kind of show up, like they're kind of like they're like the watcher, like they're sort of like they're like we're just seeing what's happening here.
Yep, absolutely crazy. Sorry, I'm just gonna jump back a little bit there. Dave Hummel says no build paint play for me. Again, so no hobby work for him. Just work, house hunt, and sleep. Maybe some food in there somewhere. Make sure you do keep the food in. Jake suggests calzones.
I do. I mean, you can't go wrong.
And Scott was talking about when I was talking about learning games by watching Battle Reports. He said, except when you watch Ash Parker and learn a game from him, instead of reading he gets it wrong. Then I get it wrong, and everyone's upset. Get it together, Ash Parker. My favorite thing is that like Ash doesn't get it wrong, like get the same thing wrong all the time. Mm-hmm. It varies, so I think it all evens out. And there are times when I'm watching other channels and I'll see something, and I think, oh, they got it wrong, and then I'll look it up and find out they got it right, or it'd be like, oh yeah, that's different, maybe, and then I'll find out that Ash got it right, and it'd be like, whoa, hang on, what's going on here?
He's usually right.
He is. I'm joking. Love you, Ash.
Oh, for sure.
Yep. Just not asking, just surprised that no one remembered.
Chris is going to do spray team next year.
Yep. Oh, cool. Excellent. Sounds good. But before then, I'll see you at Adepticon.
Yeah, that's right. In 6 weeks.
6 weeks? No, less than that.
It's like 5.5 weeks. Yeah. This weekend it'll be 5 weeks.
Yeah. Yep. Or tomorrow it'll be 5 weeks.
Right. It's one of the middle of the week shows.
Yep. I guess I better go and book my flight.
I already did. I did all that the other day.
Yep. Nice. Excellent. Trying to think. Is there anything else we missed? Nope. All good. So yeah. Megaforce is one that we watch every year.
So good.
This year we watched Mad Max, and we also watched Mad Max Fury Road. We did watch Salute of the Jugger. I know Scott mentioned Blood of Heroes. So Blood of Heroes is the American name. Salute of the Jugger is, I think, the rest of the world name, which is the post-apocalyptic sports game, I guess. Post-apocalyptic movie about a game where people wander the wasteland. Jugger teams move from settlement to settlement, and they play the game. And if they win, they get fed and put up for the night, kind of thing.
I don't know that.
You have to check it out. And Scott threw in a quote there, which is one of my favorites, which is 100 stones 3 times. And because it's post-apocalyptic and almost all technology is gone, the way they keep time is they get they pile up like 3 piles of stones, 100 stones in each pile, and the guy throws the stones at a sheet of tin, the corrugated iron, and so it's like tunk, tunk, tunk. He does that for like 100 times, and then they take a break. So it's like a third of the game, and they come back and do it again until somebody scores. Sure. So, but it's definitely a fantastic movie. You have to go and check it out.
The best weird sci-fi sports is probably got to be in Battlestar Galactica when they're playing Pyramid. Do you remember that? The original, like Glenn Larson TV series. So it's this weird combination of like basketball, dodgeball, rugby, and I don't even know what you call. You remember the thing that would always be in the playground when you were a kid? It's like a bucket with 4 holes, and you'd throw the ball in, and it would come out randomly one of the holes.
No, we never had one of those.
So okay, it's a super weird game.
It sounds like a New England thing.
So they used to play Pyramid. And then, like, James has got another good one. The original Rollerball. Rollerball is also spectacular.
That's what I thought you were going to say, but yeah.
But again, like, for Rollerball is weird because it's supposed to be like now. Because, like, you go back and you watch it, and they're wearing, like, very clearly, like, 70s fashion. It's all, like, bell bottoms, and, like, it's all disco. And I'm like, it doesn't age well. It doesn't read as like a sci-fi future sport. It reads like a weird dystopian 70s is what it reads like.
Sure. That could still be our future, you know.
It's true. It could be back to the 70s. Oh god, there's so much good stuff. There's a weird sport they play in Solar Babies. There's like this weird like roller. It's like weird roller hockey lacrosse.
Okay.
That's another game that has like weird sports in it. Running Man.
Running Man, yeah.
Running Man is great. I don't know if that's actually more like a game show than sports, but
yeah, we watched Running Man as well.
Gillian, I'll be back.
We've watched things like Willow and Legend. We watched Flesh and Blood once.
What one's that?
That's the one about it's a band of medieval mercenaries. And we watched it until it got it was like, this movie's all of a sudden getting a bit rapey.
I don't remember that one.
I didn't remember that. Let's maybe turn it off. We'll move on to something else.
There's so much good stuff. What did I catch the other day? I was up with your channels. Ice Pirates.
Ice Pirates, right? Actually,
Ice Pirates is amazing.
We did watch Ice Pirates. We had Ice Pirates this round.
It's a spectacular movie.
Yep.
Angelica Houston's like the cast in that movie.
Oh, no, it's insane.
It's crazy. The people who are in that movie.
It is absolutely amazing. Scott said I learned watching the Rollerball commentary that Norman Jewison made a board game with miniatures he played to get the rules of Rollerball right. Wow,
nice.
That's crazy.
Pretty good.
So he did that before they filmed. I think that's awesome.
I assume.
Yeah. But of course, the rules to Rollerball make no sense. This is true.
Yeah, like I even tried following it, and as somebody, I was like, "Oh, this is like a weird combo of like 6 games." But I was like, I don't understand why you have to do certain things to get points.
Right.
Like I guess the ball comes out, and then all you need to do is someone on your team needs to make a full lap, and then they can put the ball in the goal.
Okay.
Like that's it. And then the other team is trying to stop you from doing that.
Right.
But I also don't know. I don't know if you're allowed to pass it. Like, I think one player has to make a full lap.
Right. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool. Again, like it's not. I don't think they really thought it out super well, but
apparently not.
Yeah.
But yeah. So my things that I do personally at home when I'm hobbying.
Yep.
I watch YouTube channels or have YouTube channels on. I listen to them. There's a guy, Simon Whistler, has a ton of YouTube channels that are all and that kind of thing. But he has it basically his job. He runs all these channels, and he's the face. He sits down and reads. He probably films 10 videos a day, because he has like 20 channels and 2 videos per channel per week go out, which is kind of crazy, but it's fun to listen to. So I watch a lot of that. Oh man, I did not know that LL Cool J was in the remake.
Oh, I did not forget. Rebecca Romijn is spectacular in that movie.
Okay.
She has a thick Russian accent, and she is great in it. Jean Reno from The Professional is in it. Okay. That's another movie that has like way more big name actors in it than it really needs to.
Right.
But it's entertaining. It has like a weird like 90s, instead of having a weird 70s vibe, it has a weird like late 90s vibe.
Right. Yep. Sean says, good 80s movie is Buckaroo Banzai. I think we watched Buckaroo Banzai like 3 years ago.
Buckaroo Banzai is one of my favorites. That movie is spectacular.
But yeah.
There have been rumors going around for years that they're going to make either a TV series or a sequel.
Okay.
Because at the end of Buckaroo Banzai, they tease it.
Right.
They tease the sequel at the end of it. And they've just never done it. And part of it was like, I love researching weird, obscure like sci-fi movies that I love.
Yep.
And so the original writer of that apparently was in a huge fight with the studio, because the studio was like, we agreed to do a sequel.
Yep.
And he was like, right, but we didn't know that we were going to do a sequel. So he like basically walked away from the project and was like, I guess we're not doing anything. And then the studio was like, well, we want to do a sequel. And he's like, well, I'd have to figure out what we could do. And then like time went by, and then he was like, hey, I have a sequel I'm working on. And the studio was like, well, we didn't make a ton of money, so we're not going to make another movie.
Right.
So then they changed they both changed their minds.
Right.
It's basically gone back and forth, and they've been arguing over who owns the rights. And I think I want to say it was recent. It was like within the last 2 or 3 years, the original writer got the rights back.
Okay. Yeah.
So he owns it again, and they're going to do like this. There was talk they were going to do a comic book series, and I don't know.
Yep.
But
excellent. Oh, Sean's saying the sequel was made into a book.
Okay.
But Scott also says, it's not hard, Cathy. The receiver needs to get set and has to be off the line, so on the same side as the tight end. Only one receiver can be in motion and not from inside the guards.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
He's talking about the NFL rules.
Oh yeah, he's not wrong.
Awesome. That's cool.
What's
so
the other one?
So that's what I do. If I'm away at Spray Team, I'll be watching crappy 80s movies. If I'm here, I'm watching YouTube stuff. How about you? What's your go-to?
So my problem is if I have like wicked ADD. So if I have a TV on, if it's something I don't care about, it's fine.
Yep.
But if it's something that I like if I put on like Megaforce or Ice Pirates or something, I'm gonna keep doing this, and I'll be painting, and then I'll go. And I'll just watch that whole scene that I like.
Right.
And then I'm like, red. My paint dried off. Okay. And then I gotta like remix my paint and everything. And then I start painting again. And then I'm like, oh, this scene's awesome. So like, right. I get really distracted if I have anything on that's visual. If my wife's watching TV or something, if she's watching like the news or whatever, like that's fine. I can just kind of paint and have that on in the background. My go-to is I usually, I'll put on like, different kinds of music, like yacht rock is one of my favorites, or like metal or techno or synthwave, and I'll just put on a channel and just like listen to that.
Right.
What's the other one that there's a radio show that's on in the mornings that I miss because they're on from like 6 a.m. until 10 or 5 a.m. until 10.
Right.
So like when I'm getting up to take Rhino out, they're like wrapping up their last hour.
Okay.
But they're super funny. So I put them on Spotify because they have a channel, or I'll go on YouTube and I'll find it. It's Dave and Chuck the Freak.
Okay.
They're these two shock rock DJs that are in Detroit, and the radio company that owns their station has put them in, like they're not in syndication, but they've put them in a bunch of their markets.
Yep.
So like you can get them here in Boston. You can get them in parts of Canada. You can get them in like parts of Florida. I think you can get them like in parts of like just outside Chicago. So they're in a couple of different markets, but they started in just Detroit.
Okay.
But they are super funny. I listen to them all the time. They are great.
Cool.
So I'll listen to the episodes. It's like a 4-hour show, so I'll listen to that while I'm painting, and I'll usually get caught up on a couple of episodes.
Okay. Radio.
But yeah, I mean, again, I would love to listen to something like Megaforce in the background, but I would end up watching half of it.
One of the things that I discovered is while we're there that is that Blood of Heroes or Salute the Jugger is not a movie you can listen to.
Okay.
Because there's so little dialogue for the first 45 minutes, 50 minutes. When I say there's so little dialogue, there's maybe 20 lines.
Well, I mean, Fury Road's like that too. There's not a lot of dialogue in Fury Road.
No, but there's a lot of engines revving, so you can tell what's happening by which engine is revving, which pitch is. But yeah, it's a movie. Salute the Jugger is definitely a movie you have to watch.
A good thing to do is I'll listen to movie soundtracks.
Right.
So like the Tron Legacy soundtrack.
Yep.
By Daft Punk, I can listen to that cover to cover over and over and over again, and I can picture the movie in my head.
Right. Okay.
Because it's the way that Daft Punk scored it, so I know what part it is.
Yep.
The Blade Runner soundtrack is another really good one. The new one, the Blade Runner 2049.
Sure. Yep.
That soundtrack is awesome. It's the other one I listen to all the time. There's like 2 or 3 that are kind of my go-tos, and I'll listen to them because they're kind of relaxed and they've got a nice mix.
Yep.
What's the other one? The Dune soundtrack is pretty good.
Cool. The new one, new Dune.
Yeah, it's mostly musical or instrumental.
Yep.
And then one of my go-tos is Basil Polidorius' soundtrack for Conan.
Okay.
Like the original.
Yeah.
Spectacular. Awesome. That soundtrack is awesome.
Have you listened to the soundtrack for Last Man Standing? The Bruce Willis film from
no.
late 90s, early 2000s.
Is that the one where he's like the gangster with the 2 pistols?
Yeah. Yep.
I've seen that movie. I don't think I've listened to the soundtrack.
Apparently that movie's based on Yojimbo, the Akira Kurosawa
Okay, that makes sense.
film. And but the soundtrack, the score really is done by Rai Kuda.
Okay.
And it's really visceral.
I'll have to check that
Very
one
cool.
out.
You definitely have to do that.
Jeff said that the original Dune soundtrack, that one's also great. There's a bunch of like Toto. I think Toto did that whole score. Yep. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Toto's fantastic.
The original Flash Gordon score,
Right.
all done by Queen. That's fantastic.
Yep.
And you got the dun, 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 dun. What's the other one I was gonna say?
Scott says Michael Kamen, I think, did the soundtrack. Are you sure, Dave? Are you talking about Last Man Standing? Check it out.
We were talking about Legend earlier.
Yeah.
The Ridley Scott film. Fantastic. One of my almost everything Ridley Scott makes I like. I enjoy his style.
Right.
Despite the fact that he really gets mad sometimes when people don't like his movies, it always cracks me up. But his stuff is great, and he usually does he's usually very thoughtful about finding someone to compose the score that like understands what he's trying to do, which I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, you look at all the shows and the movies that are coming out now.
Yep.
They're so good about finding people to do their. Oh, you were correct, Dave. Scott says he will diminish and sail into the west.
You don't have to do that, Scott. That's okay.
Stay here. You don't need to go to the Undying Lands. You can remain here.
We all make mistakes.
Instead of a Dark Lord, you shall have a Dave. Beautiful and treacherous is the sea. All shall love Dave and despair.
Awesome.
So the Ridley Scott film. So I listen to a lot of like dark wave and synth wave, and it's kind of like a weird mashup of like techno and like what the 80s sounds like. It's super weird. And like my wife's like, I feel like I'm listening to the 80s. And I was like, yeah, you're not wrong.
Okay.
But so there's a DJ named Daniel Deluxe. I think he's French. And he does a synthwave song that samples like sound bites from Legend.
Okay. Idea.
And it's phenomenal. Like it's literally like you hear Tim Curry as Darkness like yelling at people in the background. I mean it's amazing. It is absolutely spectacular.
Yep. Excellent.
Scott, listen to you guys talk about what to listen while I paint. This is goddamn meta Inception style, 8 layers down deep kind of stuff going on. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Fantastic. Oh, just as Legend soundtrack is Tangerine Dream.
Yeah, that's also excellent.
Speaking of what other people listen to,
what's his name? It's the guy from oh God, it's the guy from.
You lost me.
It's
here.
the guy from Yes. It's the guy from Yes.
Okay.
I can't remember. It's the singer from Yes, I think, with his other like band.
His other outfit. Nice.
Something from Simon.
Fun. Oh no, I didn't. I just wrote notes down on the back of the envelope.
Oh, okay.
As I've been filling out the rest of my book. Well, the February section of my book. So some other folks talking about things that they watched. Right in the background.
Everyone is correct. It's John Anderson.
Oh, cool. So YouTube videos. I think Scott suggested Cult of Paint.
Yeah. Okay.
So Henry and Matt and Andy and Rich, I think. So they had a show on earlier today. I watched that. It was quite good. They spent about. Oh, the only downside was they spent about 45 minutes, essentially going around and around saying, like, paint how you want. Like, don't feel that you have to listen to everybody. Like if somebody says drill out your barrels, if you don't want to drill out your barrels, don't drill out your barrels.
Yeah, that's right.
But what it came down to really was be confident in yourself. So make sure you
Which is a nice message, I guess.
That's a great message. The painting phase. I don't know if you watched any of those videos. So it's a couple of guys in Nottingham started a YouTube channel, and then when Chris Peach left GW, he joined the team. So they
You must watch that because Ben watches Peachy all the time.
Right. Yep.
So I'm assuming that's what he's watching.
Probably. Yeah. So Peachy does painting videos, and then they do a weekly chat show, which is cool. They are fun guys. It's interesting because Chris Peach has spent like 20 odd years in the heart of the GW environment, where he's not being exposed to a lot of materials or techniques or items kind of thing. It's all very much done the GW way. So it's fun watching him learn about other products and other things and wet palettes and different brushes and different types of paint. It's kind of fun to see that. Jeff Smith said he generally watches movies that he's seen over and over again, so that he knows, like, he can listen to the movie and knows when to look up for a particular scene before getting back to painting. He doesn't spend the whole time watching the film. Maybe not. I don't know, Jeff. But he's just like 13th Warrior.
Oh, great movie.
Yep, it's a very good one for that. Scott Pilgrim. He likes to watch that. Big Trouble in Little China.
Spectacular.
I think that's another one. That's another one that we've watched at Spray Team. Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit. He said Star Trek, and to that I added Star Wars.
Sure.
The Aliens franchise, the Mad Max franchise, any of those franchises. So you can do Marvel, you can do DC.
I would say I would add to that Starship Troopers.
Right.
The
Battle Beyond the Stars.
Okay.
Spectacular movie.
Yeah.
There's so many like really bad old school sci-fi movies that I absolutely like adore. The Wraith.
Right. Jesus, the Wraith.
The Wraith is super weird.
It's like really only Charlie Sheen
yeah.
before the Tiger Blood.
That's so good though.
Amazing. Yep. Oh.
Maximum Overdrive, I feel like slides in there.
Okay.
I like it, whenever I think about Last Starfighter is a great one. I always think of like Maximum Overdrive because of like Knight Rider and like Mad Max. Like it's another vehicle kind of centric movie. Plus another great soundtrack.
Okay.
It's all AC/DC, the whole soundtrack.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. That's good. So we've got all of those, but I will admit that there were, because so pre-pandemic and pre-watching a lot of YouTube stuff, got a TV over here where that's what I used to do. I had a whole selection of those movies that I would play while I was painting and do the same thing as Jeff. But so it kind of surprised me when a lot of folks in the on the Facebook group on that thing commented that they can't watch something while they paint, have something visual on while they're painting.
I can't. I'm telling you, it's super distracting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I can have my computer up because my computer's here, obviously. So when I paint, I have stuff like here and I have stuff here. So I'll paint and I'll have my computer up, but like nothing's on. Like I'll have a screensaver or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'll just have like the podcast like coming through my speakers. But yeah, because my TV's like, you can't see, but it's right there against that wall.
Right.
If I have a movie on, I will literally like, I'll find myself doing this like until I'm like watching the movie.
Nice.
So I was like, okay, I can't do that.
Awesome. So I wrote down a list of podcasts that people said they listened to. So apparently there's a podcast called Kill James Bond.
No, I'm not familiar with that. I can't say I know that work.
I'm also not familiar with that. Oral learner, Scott. Not oral.
You are.
Yes.
Not U-R-A.
Yes. So Kill James Bond is one I'm going to have to look up. Thankfully, Dan... No, so Mike Dutcher got in the comments and said, what about podcasts? And it was like, okay, yeah, that's right. There's a podcast called Listening to Paint Dry with Mike and Dan. So definitely worth checking out. It's a couple of guys from my local area. Dan actually runs the Capital Palette, the behind-the-scenes part. Well, actually the upfront part of the Capital Palette. And I organized the judging team, so we worked together on that. But he has that. So they talk about painting and they interview painters, well-known painters from around the community. Cast Dice is one that I threw in there, which is run by Brad Morin.
Okay.
Did you ever meet Brad Morin?
I don't know if I know Brad.
Guys might have not sort of crossed at the same time, but Brad's originally from... well, his family is in Boston.
Okay.
Boston area. Brad spent a lot of time in Japan and in Louisiana, and he's probably spent the last 18 years in Australia.
So maybe not.
Yep. But Brad was my roommate for a short period of time. Absolutely awesome guy. And he runs a podcast called Cast Dice.
Okay.
Which is, it talks about all sorts of games. He interviews game designers, game developers, tournament organizers, miniature sculptors, all sorts of things.
There's a couple other good ones like Campbell. My buddy Campbell runs the 40K Badcast.
Okay.
And they're pretty entertaining. He's a funny guy. And then
There's another one. I can't think of the name of it, and I feel really bad. I will find it.
Okay. And
I have a pile of business cards.
Okay. While you're looking through those, I was going to say as well, Brush Builders Union, obviously. We had Simon on earlier in the year, who was our first guest this year. So that podcast goes out every month. Paint All the Minis. Oh.
Nerd Herders.
Nerd Herders? Nice.
Their business here was really cool a couple years ago. They put out they gave a little guy, and it has all these metal heads of the hosts, so you could swap with the heads.
You could put the head.
I was
the
like,
host of your choice.
Cool. That's kind of neat. So
awesome. That is cool. Paint All the Minis is another one that I think Scott mentioned in the comments, but that's one that I've listened to quite a bit. Dan Adam is the name of the guy who runs that. Dan's an English guy who lives in China and has been running that for a while. But he's taken a little bit of a break over the last 12 months or so, but he's going to be coming back pretty soon, I think.
I can do a
chat conversation with him the other day.
I can do sports too.
Right.
Like I can have sports on in the background, and then like whenever something happens, I can be like, "Oh, cool," because they'll show the replay or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that, I get something like that I can do because that's easier to do. Oh, I'll just wait till, some action happens.
Sure, sure. And I guess like baseball commentary.
Ugh.
I'm not sure what it's like now, but I know when I first moved over here, it's in the toilet, is it?
I hate baseball.
Oh, okay. It's just because you don't like baseball. I was going to say that baseball commentary has a not commentary like baseball on the radio commentary.
Okay.
Is different to baseball on TV commentary.
Yeah. Absolutely. You're talking about like the simulcast.
I guess.
Yeah, so if they do radio coverage, it's a simulcast because obviously they're at the game covering it on the radio at the same time that it's on TV. Yeah, it's a simulcast. Like they do the same thing for hockey. Like when I'm driving home from work, I'll put on the Bruins game and it'll be on the radio.
Right.
And I think the guys that do the radio broadcast, I think they're better than the guys that do the TV because they have to be.
Yeah, they do. There's a musicality to it. I don't know if musicality is a word, but I'm going to use it right here and right now. There's a musicality to it. So
I just want Bob Uecker.
What's that?
Have you watched Major League?
No.
Oh my God, Bob Uecker's a former player who's like he plays like the color commentary guy, and he is so good. There's a great scene where he's like his first pitch over the plate, and like the guy throws a pitch, and it's not even close to being a strike. It's like miles away, like it's not even near. And he's like just a bit outside, like he like roots for the home team, like everything is like almost there.
Okay. Nice. Well, there you go. Scott said just a bit outside.
It's nowhere near the guy.
Excellent.
And then he's like, they gave up a home run, and he goes, up. Another one gets crushed towards. Looks like Ramirez is going to need a visa to get this one, as another one gets crushed towards South America. And they're just hitting home runs over the wall. Like,
right. Nice.
He is a great color commentary guy. I would listen to him do baseball.
Awesome. Scott is mentioned there. He's looking to do new episodes. Dan Adam is. And Scott is going to be episode 216.
Nice.
Super cool. We'll all have to listen in on that one.
Scott, are you on? Is this already pre-recorded, or are you doing it soon?
That's a good question.
Like I don't know how he does his show. Like,
yeah. No, I think it's it is like the show itself is pre-recorded, but rather than being live. But I'm not sure how in advance he's going to be.
All right, right on.
But it should be good. But I think Scott also suggested Crime in Sports as a podcast.
Crime in Sports?
Crime in Sports is what it's called. It's a podcast, apparently. There we go.
You guys do a lot of the ASMR. Hey guys, so we're going to be talking about painting models today, and if you could get your Space Marines in, bring them over to the table. We're going to work on Space Marines today.
Scott says available on YouTube to listen to right now. Paint All the Minis 216. Join the millions who have listened already.
I will definitely give that a listen just to get you your metrics, buddy.
Yep. Gotta bump up those numbers. That's what
You
we're
gotta
gonna
go.
do.
Those are rookie numbers. You gotta get those numbers way up.
Yep. Guys that do crime in sports also do a podcast called Small Town Murder.
Well, I'm sure my wife would love all of that stuff.
Oh, okay. Crime in sports is two comedians who rip apart an athlete who did moronic stuff. Okay.
Oh, I know another podcast I listen to, or How Did This Get Made?
Okay.
How Did This Get Made is amazing. So it's Jason Mantzoukas, who's like one of my favorite comedians. He's like the king of improv.
Okay.
So it's him. It's Paul Scheer. Paul Scheer's wife, who I feel terrible I'm forgetting her name because she's amazing. And the three of them basically pick a movie. And the problem that they're running into is they've been doing this now for years.
Yep.
It started off as like a joke, and it's so popular they keep making more episodes. They'll pick a movie.
Yep.
And then literally they're like, how did this get made? Like, who in Hollywood approved this? It's awful. And they'll just tear movies apart. They've done so many of them. The guys are so funny. But that show is amazing. And now a lot of times they have special guests on.
Yep.
And they're like, how did this get made is amazing.
Yep. Did you ever meet Stuart Wellington?
I think so.
Stuart was he was a manager, a GW store manager in New York, and then he was like I think he was like an area supervisor or something like that. But
maybe.
Yeah.
When I was there, the regional directors were Fabrice.
Yep.
Nigel what's
Wood?
his name? Yeah, Nigel Wood. Yeah, Nigel Wood was in charge of New York.
Yeah, like so Stu reported to Nigel. But
Then I probably know him. If he was there when Nigel was there, I know him.
yeah, you probably know him. He does. He owns a bar in Brooklyn, and his wife owns another bar in Brooklyn.
Okay.
But he does a podcast called The Flop House, which is also basically tearing apart. But it's tearing apart like shitty 80s movies.
The best thing about How Did This Get Made is they'll rip apart movies that not necessarily were like flops.
Yep.
But just movies where they're like, who, like, one of my favorite ones they did Face Off.
All right, yep.
With Nicolas Cage and John Travolta. And like that movie did okay, but they're like, the concept is insane, and the movie starts with Nick Cage shooting a kid.
Yeah.
Like that's how the movie starts, and they're like, what were they thinking? Like, what was the studio on when they approved this movie? They're oh my god, they're so good. That is probably my favorite podcast.
Awesome. And Sean says, while I'm at work, I'll listen to paranormal podcasts. So
Okay.
nice. So I think we've covered a whole bunch of stuff. If you want to go back through and listen to that, you can make notes of all the things we've talked about. Different things that you can do while you're painting to have some external stimuli. Of course, if you're not into that, you can just lock everything down, paint in absolute silence.
Yeah. Ash is another great one if you want to listen to Guerrilla Games.
Yep. So it says Face Off was supposed to be sci-fi, but John Woo said he doesn't do sci-fi after they hired him for a sci-fi. Yep. That's fair.
It's not good.
But yeah, John Woo films, awesome.
Yeah, I do like John Woo, but that movie is not great.
Oh no. But like John Woo, Chow Yun-Fat films, fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's jump into week 2 of the Build Paint Play challenge.
Yeah, what do we got?
So we'll see some painted miniatures that different folks have been working on. We've got a bit of a mix through here because also I said that after last week's show, I said we'll give you a couple more days to put up your week 1 minis. So I expect the next couple of days we'll have a few more week 2 minis. But first up, here we go. We have this Raven Guard Assault Intercessor from Aaron Provost.
He looks dope.
He does, doesn't he? I love the sort of the weathering, the damage, particularly on the like an assault symbol, and on the Legion. Oh, sorry, the chapter symbol. But yeah, it looks super cool. Aaron said this is the first mini he's painted in like 10 years, and it felt really good to sort of get back in the saddle.
Well, he looks great for having taken 10 years off. So
yeah, definitely awesome work there, Aaron. Nice work on hashtag BuildPaintPlay Challenge Week 2. I've forgotten to press the right button. Here we go. Ben Fail sneaked this in under the wire. Sent this through. Last week we got to see his Chaos Spawn that he did up for his World Eaters army. And now he's gotten them painted. So, looking pretty crazy there. But yeah, those heads, you know how we're wondering where those heads were from? They are from the Hellbrute. Yeah, Chaos Hellbrute kit.
Yeah, he's going to use these in his he uses these in his, I think, his Red Corsairs list, and he's also using these in his new Berserkers army.
Okay, nice.
That World Eaters Codex is so good.
Next up, we have from Ben Williams. Now, these are his Black Sun Enforcers. He, after the last week's show, he posted a picture of them unpainted. Just before this week's show, he posted a picture of them painted. I don't know where they're from.
It's from Star Wars Legion.
Star Wars Legion? Is that what it is? Yep. Okay.
Yeah, these are Black Sun Enforcers for the new mercenaries.
Are they from one of the cartoons?
So Prince Shizor is from like one of the novels, but then they also have him in like the cartoon and stuff.
Okay. But yeah, these look great. I think.
Yeah, they're also in the Mandalorian. They're the guys that are running the train across the desert that Boba Fett like screws with and like goes after him.
Radio. Oh, hang on. In the Mandalorian or in Boba Fett?
Boba Fett.
Are you counting Boba Fett as the Mandalorian 2.5?
It's just it was another way for them to get some more episodes in.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I was going to say I wasn't familiar with that, but Jeff says it was the Pikes.
Yep. But the Pikes are part of the same faction. So.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Black Sun Enforcers are part of basically are at the top of the Pike Syndicate. They run the Pike Syndicate.
Okay.
Black Sun is kind of the group that's like they're like the space mafia basically.
Hooray, space mafia.
Yeah. No, they look great though. It's a great paint scheme, and his like fades and his tones are awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, so this was a week 1 piece from Bing Lee. These are trolls from Conquest.
Yep.
I think. Not sure which faction.
The Nord.
The Nord.
Yep.
Are they like the Vikings?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Their models are super cool. The Conquest models are pretty rad in general.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be cool to see Bing paint these up. Hopefully we'll get them done fairly soon. Oh, Jeff says, "Oh, Oz, don't make me get my Star Wars nerd on because you're wrong." We'll come back to that at another time, Jeff.
I'm talking about Star Wars Legion. Like they are part of the Mercenaries faction.
There we go. Part of the Mercenaries faction in Star Wars Legion. Nice. Let's go with that. Okay, next up we've got Brian Martin. Got some paint on his Adeptus Satanicus Knights. So looking good. That black and orange scheme's always quite striking.
I like the little guy off to the right who's like pew pew as he's like walking on like
yeah.
guns, like.
Yep. Looking great. So nice work there on week 2, Brian. Nicely done. This next one is from Chris Jones over in Vancouver. I don't know if this is for his Build Paint Play challenge, but Chris has been messing around. I think last week we showed a knight painted in non-metallic metals.
Yeah.
That he did at a class. This one he's been messing around with. So this Judicia. He primed it black, and then he has highlighted. Basically, done a pre-shading, pre-highlighting with an airbrush and white, and then has started glazing it with a very dark blue. So you can see on definitely down around the bottom of the legs there, a little bit on the chest plate and on the arm here, just a slight speckling, which is coming from that hitting it with the airbrush. But coming along nicely there, Chris. Looking cool. Chris, not sure if Chris is still in the chat, but I don't think we showed this during last week's show. Might have popped up on in the group afterwards, so I was a little bit confused. But this is Chris's how he starts his Imperial Fist, and then like 20 minutes before the show, he posted another photo in the group. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to grab it and insert it in this run of photos, so we'll see those again next week. Or you can head to the Facebook page. And check
He
those
uses
out.
like this like tan undercoat, and then he builds them up to yellow.
Yep.
Yeah, I was giving him grief. I was like, "Is this like the Chocolate Angels? Like, is this a new faction you're doing? Like, you're just gonna have them be like milk chocolate brown, and then put a Hershey's logo on their shoulder?"
My daughter would love those guys. Me. This is where I'm at with my Hernkin Pioneers.
Right on.
So I was a little bit worried the other day. I was like, maybe I should take some photos of the original ones that I did and just pretend that I'm putting it through. And I was like, no, I said I would. So last night I put in a few hours and put in a few hours this afternoon as well. But yeah, these guys are coming along.
I do like your color scheme.
Yeah, the teal and the white, the jade.
Yeah, it's very like cool tones. Like it feels like they're somewhere cold.
Yep. I just noticed that our display was set for the guests. So for this whole time we've been half on the screen. So hopefully we've fixed it up now. There we go.
There we go.
I knew I'd get something wrong. But we got that fixed up now. Excellent. So yeah, these have come along. They've been a lot of fun. I think all I need to do now is just the stowage on the back of each of the bikes and the bases and the glowy bits, the lights and the little sensors and stuff like that.
Do all the bikes have like a gunner?
No, just 1 out of 3.
So it's like it's the attack bike.
Yeah, basically. So the regular bikes have they have an autocannon here.
You're on the little screen.
It's true. I am. Okay.
I mean, I believe you.
Thank you. Well, let's switching around. Okay, so they have the autocannon there, which is like 3 shots. They have the shotguns, the bolt shotguns. I can't remember how many shots they are. I think they're like 2 or 3 shots. What's that?
The driver weapon.
Yeah, it's the driver's weapon. And then the this particular gun that I'm using on both of mine is the high-las rotary cannon, which is 9 shots.
Oof.
So 2 of them, basically, if you have a squad of 6, you can have 2 of them in a squad of 6.
Yeah.
That's 18 shots. Strength 7 or something like that.
Yuck.
Pretty fierce. And then the each of those autocannons on the bikes themselves are 3 shots, so 6 of them in a squad, another 18 shots.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty fierce. So I have my game lined up. I'm playing Ryan Carnes, who is a regular listener. I'm playing Ryan on Saturday afternoon against his Death Guard.
Nice, man.
I think we're going for 75. I'm going to try and push him for 76 power level. Just because all of my painted, what do you call it, Votan comes to 76 power level.
I gotta talk to Ben and see what he'll have available. I think we're gonna try to do 1,000-point game. My army at 1,000 points is really weird though. It's not. The armored spearhead at 1,000 points is not really good.
Yeah.
You can't really do it.
To be fair, your army at 2,000 points is also really weird.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's doable. But I think at 1,000 points, I end up having. I think I have to do the Command Sakaran, 1 Sakaran, 3 Predators, and a Leviathan.
Right.
And even then, I think I might be over. If I'm over, I'll have to drop the Sakaran, the second Sakaran. So I'll the Command Sakaran. Oh no, I can just drop one of the Predators. Yeah, so it's 2 Sakarans. It's 2 Sakarans, 2 Predators, and a Leviathan.
Or you can get Ben to just bump up his points value.
Yeah, but I don't have enough of it. I don't have enough of it built.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I do, but then I end up having to take the.
I mean, if you're over by 50 points, he just gets to add 50 more points. You can take like another apothecary or something.
That's true.
Cool. Just quickly, here's something else that I'm working on. I'm doing this as a commission for a friend. Painting up this unit of Auric Brutes. But before I could start painting, he wanted me to do this. When I did the War Chanters last year, I sculpted on like a little tunic
barnacle
of it's basically supposed to be like the skin of a Dankhold Troggoth.
Oh, okay.
I had painted a Dankhold Troggoth for him in this that sort of white with athematic blue contrast paint over it. So the very pale blue green. But that model also has little barnacles / pieces of fungus over it. So
Nice.
That's the idea there. So all of that unit of 10 brutes has that same sort of sculpting. Now I have to paint it all up and get it done for Adepticon. Yay!
Nice.
What's next? What do we have next? Next up. Here we go. See them here. There's Jake's 2 Leviathans and Sakaran.
Yep. There we go. One third of my army.
Fantastic. Can't wait to see it.
It's the command tank because it has the pintle-mounted multi-melta.
Oh, that's how you can tell. It's the one.
Yeah. So that one's a little bit more expensive than the other Sakarans.
Yep.
So.
Well, there you go. If you're like 50 points over, you can just take that multi-melter off. But yeah, no, that looks great.
Thanks, man. Yeah, they came out pretty good. I think doing that 3-step prime, it makes them look really, really cool. Like they look kind of like dingy and grungy on the underside, which looks great. So
Yeah. No, that's cool. I'm excited. At least I know that it's not too long to wait until you've got them all done.
yeah, hopefully. my plan is for this week.
Yep.
I'm gonna try to finish the 2 predators that I have. So then this Friday is supposed to be like 60. So this Friday I'm gonna prime my Venator, my Sakaran Venator,
Yep.
and the 2 predators.
Right.
And next week I have to do another Sakaran, another predator, and the Dorado.
Right. Okay. Excellent. Moving right along. I'm not sure. I think Jeff was saying he's not going to get much of a chance to play in the 3rd week, but he posted up some photos of models he's finished. This one here is from X-Men, Marvel X-Men United, Marvel United
Yep.
X-Men.
Yes.
No, this is an X-Men. This is Fantastic Four, isn't it?
It's one of the expansions. I think it's from the expansions. It's the Fantastic Four expansion for the first one.
For the first one, just Marvel United.
Marvel United, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Doctor Doom, of course, who is Jeff's favorite comic book villain.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, I think Jeff's doing a great job.
I told him his greens came out awesome.
Yeah.
They look amazing.
Yep. No, it does look. Everything looks great, and I think the contrast in that hood around the face there, the way the shadows just frame that metallic face, really beautiful. Yep. Yes. Yes.
They did a great
I
job
caught
with
myself.
this.
I didn't say. I said X-Men, but I came back and I caught myself. It was Fantastic Four.
They did a great job with like the poses. Like that looks like a comic book. Like the angles of the cloak,
Right.
it like hooks up,
Yep.
and then like the way it falls in front at his belt. Like it looks. They did a really really cool job with the sculpts for this game.
Yeah, they did.
And again, they're all built. That's out of the box, so you don't have to build anything.
Yeah. No, definitely super cool. A friend of mine, Mark, is painting up some X-Men United stuff at the moment, and he's painted a couple of models recently that look a lot like a mutual friend of ours, Jeff. So it's like, it's always like, who's Jeff cosplaying as this week? But yeah, looking great now, Jeff. Another cool model from Jeff. Jeff has finished painting up his Einherjar Hearthguard. And this is the champion of that unit.
You gotta put a little yellow in there. Make him go full Iron Man.
Well, you got the yellow on the chest, and are you saying a few more panels, armor panels?
Yeah, panels. Few more panels.
Yeah. But no, looking great there, Jeff.
Yeah, they're pretty rad.
Very nice.
That like high gloss finish you got. I usually don't like high gloss, but it looks really cool on these guys.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely working out well. Sweet. Okay, another Iron Warriors vehicle. This is a Rhino from Josh. Josh Potter painted this up. This is a 40k Rhino, obviously.
Yep.
Doesn't have the Demos pattern doors, but yeah, looking really good. I think Josh has done a nice job here.
Yeah,
Painted
I
up
like
nice and quickly.
especially how we did the stripes. So it looks like they're just like worn off
Yeah.
across the front.
No, definitely looks super cool. And I think he's got an Imperial Fist helmet spiked on the trophy rack there.
Yeah, probably. You got to put a nice big Iron Warrior symbol on the door.
Right. Yep.
It's a nice big flat surface. It needs to have something on it.
It does. Excellent. Okay, next up we have Scott. So Scott's been going back and forth. You can go and check out some of his posts on the Facebook group, but he's not sure what he's going to get to play. But so he's going to do some more work on his Malifaux gremlins, primarily to annoy you.
Yeah.
And also finish off some X-Men United, not X-Men United, Marvel United. I don't know why I keep wanting to say X-Men, but some Marvel United minis as well. But looking good. I love those, that brick road you've got going on the base there. And we got also got a pick here from Scott from some of the minis he finished up over the last week. So the one that we showed last week with the sort of the composition lines is the model in the middle. So you can see they're all painted up.
Yeah, these models are great.
Yep.
I especially like the Desperado looking guy on the right.
Yep.
Who's like fixing his hat.
Yep, sweeping it back.
He's awesome.
Yep, definitely looking cool. But yeah, I think Scott's done a great job on these. Very nice.
Models like this always crack me up when the base is bigger than the model.
Right. Okay.
Like I have a Samwise Gamgee
Yep.
from the old Fellowship of the Ring box, the one where he has the frying pan.
Sure. Yeah.
The base is bigger than he is.
Yep. Those Hobbit models are a teeny tiny.
Oh god, so good.
But no, definitely looking good there, Scott. Hopefully you will get to play a game of Malifaux and or Marvel United.
Well, I mean, you're not really a Malifaux player if you play Malifaux. You're just supposed to collect models and say that you're a Malifaux player.
Okay. And just
I mean,
post,
he's doing it the right way.
just post online. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, he's doing it the right way.
Okay, cool. Next up, is the week one, obviously, from Stephen Lee, aka Kato, working on some Bushido miniatures.
Yeah, I was gonna say those are either Bushido or they're what is it? What's the other game? Test of Honor.
Test of Honor. No, these are from the Bushido range, from GCT Studios. GC Studios.
Yep. You're right, GCT.
GCT. But yeah, so looking forward to see what these look like. Hopefully, in the next couple of days, we'll get some photos. Looking good. Scott says earliest I can play Malifaux was April 1st. Malifaux plastics are stupidly absurd to assemble. A face in 3 parts. Stupid.
Yep.
I agree.
April Fools.
Exactly. Next up, so coming up to the final shot, final photos for the show, we've got Sean's Illumineth Realm Lord's Ballista.
Yeah, I forget what it's called. It's basically the elf bolt thrower. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's super cool. Looking really good there. So that's also a work in progress. So I expect Sean will finish that up over the next couple of days to complete his task for week 2 of the Build Paint Play challenge. And then finally, the final photo we've got for tonight, because you mentioned it on the show last week, Sean posted up his photos of his Eltharion, which is the Illumineth model with the hollow suit of armor. And one thing I want to point out is the awesome freehand on the cloak in the back.
So all of his cloaks are like that.
Yeah, all with the mountains.
Yeah, they all of his units have mountains, and they have different colors at the top to represent the different units.
Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, make it a lot easier to tell to see from behind for sure.
But yeah, I love this model.
Yep. No,
it's a really clever sculpt too by Games Workshop.
Yep.
Because like literally, you can see into his armor in places, and you're like, oh, but it's like somehow together because like the way they have the cloak draped and the way that the way that his like robes are moving, like everything is just barely touching.
Yep.
It's really neat. It's a really cool sculpt.
Just enough contact points to make it stable.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where I almost wonder if the artist like drew this and then went back and erased all of the like.
Sure. Yeah.
Because he's wearing like vambrances, and then he has a shoulder plate, but there's nothing here.
Right.
But it's all in the right position, and then that's just not there. It's just gone.
Yeah.
So like the elbow of the vambrance is touching like his cloak, so it's like held in place. Like it's really neat. It's a really really neat sculpt.
No, it is definitely clever. I would love to know how they went about that. That would be great to find out.
Sculpted that one, like some of the sculptors like we've reached out to in the past, and they were always like really nice, but I don't remember who sculpted this one.
Yeah. I got no idea. But
it's pretty rad.
But no, awesome job there, Sean, and your bolt throw is coming along nicely too.
It looks great. I love the greens.
Yep. Oh man, fantastic. Okay, we are back. Loads of great stuff there. Very excited. Thanks again, Scott, for the idea of for the hashtag Build Paint Play challenge. Jake and I will have to work out. We probably won't announce it next week.
Yeah, because we're almost like a week behind.
Yeah, because we're in the middle of the week. We need some more time. So I think we'll probably announce it in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I had to say that because that's why I put this picture of Arnie in there.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. So, very exciting. We'll announce it then. Next week we have Owen Best from Nova Open. Who will be on the show to talk about Nova Open, the new venue, all sorts of fun bits and pieces, different things that are going on. So quite excited to talk to Owen about that.
Okay, I like that.
Which should be super cool. So that's because tickets for Nova Open go on sale March 1st. The event itself is Labor Day weekend, whatever that happens to be this year. I'm not exactly sure. But yes, should be very, very good. So cool. Yes, thank you, Scott. We need to do it for you.
Well, again, thank you everybody for joining us on here, and we another fun episode. I could talk about terrible 80s movies. We could literally do a whole show where it's just Dave and I dissecting terrible 80s movies. But that wouldn't really be on brand. At least this time we had kind of an excuse to do it.
Sure.
But yeah, so next week will be fun. I think having him on will be great. We can talk about Nova. Nova's another really fun show. I've always had a good time at Nova. You said it's in a new venue this year, right?
New venue. It's in sort of closer to downtown DC. It's actually in DC rather than Northern Virginia.
Okay.
But yeah, larger venue, fewer floors. We get to sort of wander around. We should have more space in there, which will be really good. Very exciting. Dave almost says, please don't. Okay, we'll avoid that.
Well, make sure everybody does their things, and
yeah,
tell your friends, put us up everywhere, post us in places where you want to post us, and don't post us where you don't want to post us, and
share, like, subscribe, all those fun stuff.
All the things.
All the things. Awesome.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week, and don't forget to build, paint, play. Oh, so close.
Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down.